And this is the Ninja Legion. I'm Spider, and welcome to Bagged and Boarded. I got a couple of things to talk about today. First thing is a local comic book store celebrated their 1-year anniversary last weekend, and I went up to their little celebration. They had a couple of local Maryland artists there. Our friends at PLB Comics were there, specifically Matt Shockley and Josh Logan. And then also Dan Noakes was there. I was able to pick up a couple of cool little pieces of Spider-Man art from the PLB guys. We had a Venom that they finished while I was there, and then a Spider-Man one that they had already had drawn up, but wanted to add those to my collection of Spider-Man art. I don't have it with me, but I was also able to get a really cool quickie Venom done by Dan Noakes. What's one of the things that he's known for doing at conventions is people be like, hey, I want this particular character drawn, and he'll set a timer for 10 minutes, bust that character out in 10 minutes. So he did a really awesome Venom for me, which unfortunately I don't have with me right now. They did lots of cool little giveaways and stuff throughout the course of the day. Everything from graphic novels to figures. They actually gave away a copy of Cockfight, which we did a playthrough on. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. But yeah, it was cool. They had a nice little turnout for that. It's cool to see the small local comic book store doing well, celebrating their 1-year, milestone. So the big things that I want to talk about are new releases for this past week. We've talked before about our thoughts on Thor becoming a woman, with that coming up, and then also Falcon becoming the new Captain America. And we had 2 issues that came out this week that tied into those. First being Thor #1, which I have right here. You can see female Thor on the cover, Lady Thor as some say, or as my friend Victor from Collector's Corner would say, Thor's a lady, whoa, 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 Thor's a lady. But it was actually a pretty neat read. You see Thor gathered together with Odin and Freya, and they're talking about, what happened because Mjolnir is stuck on the moon after the events of Original Sin, where Nick Fury whispers something into Thor's ear, and suddenly he just plummets to the moon. No longer being found worthy of wielding Mjolnir, which Odin goes on a rant about. It's like, you're the Prince of Asgard. You're the Odin son. Like, how can you not be worthy? Before sending him on his happy way. We see a little bit of Thor in action without Mjolnir, just to see how he does. I mean, he's still a god, basically, so it's not that big of a thing. He's a little bit more vulnerable not having the lightning power and just wielding an axe instead of having Mjolnir around. But it's not until the very end of the issue where we actually see someone pick up Mjolnir again, and it's our new female Thor. They don't show you her face. They don't really show who it is. They kind of allude to it, and I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm going to refrain from mentioning who I think it is. But technically, Thor is now a Disney princess, although not really a princess based on the contents of the book. But I definitely would suggest checking it out. If you're new to Thor, it's a good jumping on point. If you're looking for something a little bit different, it's a #1, so you can start there without having to know too much about what's happened in previous issues. So, yeah, pretty neat. What happened with Falcon this week was just they did a wrap-up for a Captain America for the storyline that's going right now, and the cover is just, who is the next Captain America? And with like an outline, which I think is really stupid since they announced months ago that Sam Wilson was going to be taking up the mantle of Captain America. There's kind of not a need to do the mystery thing, like we all already know. But it's the end of that storyline. The new Falcon series launches in November. So, well, I shouldn't say Falcon, I should say Captain America. With, Falcon as Cap. So that'd be something to look forward to. When that launches, check that out and give that a thing. We'll be back with a review on that, or rather, at least I will be. One of the other new releases for this week, sticking with Marvel, we have Guardians 3000, number 1, which, coming off of the recent success of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Marvel's decided to launch a new ongoing series starring the original Guardians of the Galaxy, not the ones that everyone knows from the movie, but the original comic book Guardians. So you have Vance Astro, who is the current Captain America. He has Cap's shield and everything. Yondu's there. Charlie 27, Starhawk, and I can't remember the one guy's name, which is really bad of me. I'm not super familiar with the old Guardians. The art's really good in the book. The story is pretty interesting. It involves like this temporal paradox thing, or this time loop, where they keep having to go and relive the same day over and over again. Martin X. That's the other guy. Haha. It's written by Dan Abnett, who is known for writing Guardians of the Galaxy. He's written some of the previous Rocket and Groot storylines. He's also written some of the old just Guardians of the Galaxy comics. He's also known for writing Warhammer 40k, which is sort of neat. The guy's very much a sci-fi writer. So I actually have pretty high hopes for this series. If the artwork keeps up the way that it is, and the writing stays good, this could be a nice new book to read, spinning off from the standard Guardians. Because to be honest, I'm getting kind of a little bored of it right now. But yeah, so check that one out if you're looking for a little bit of sci-fi action adventure type stuff. Guardians 3000 is a good one to check out. And our other new title for this week that I picked up was Gotham Academy, and this is another book in the Bat family, as they like to call it. It takes place in Gotham City at a prestigious school that's heavily invested by the Wayne Foundation, Bruce Wayne in particular. And it just kind of talks about the two girls that you see on the cover here, Maps and Olive. And it's Map's first day at Gotham Academy, and Olive's been tasked with kind of showing her around campus. And they talk about, like, this one building in the north that's supposedly haunted. And they get into a little bit of trouble, and you kind of see... It's mostly like an introduction to the characters that you're going to see throughout the series. Headmaster, some of the other students. It was an okay read. It's a little slow right now. I heard it was going to be a weekly title, which I think is a little much because they already have a weekly Batman book. So I'm a little bit kind of meh on it right now, but I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to pick up another issue or two and see where it goes from there. It hasn't done as much to kind of jump out and establish itself to me like the other ones have. But Thor, again, being a well-known character, and Guardians already being a well-known team. So this is something that's it needs a little bit more time to set up. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time to do that and see if I like it from there or not. One of the other big things from DC this week is they launched the new Lobo series, which I did not pick up. And my reason being, I don't like the new Lobo design. Anyone who's familiar with the character of Lobo know he was like this big, bad biker guy, with the vest, dirty language, super violent, kind of a cool character. And for whatever reason, they're like, nope, Sons of Anarchy is too popular. The biker thing's totally not cool. We're going to make him a pretty emo boy instead. So they made him like this skinny, like, ladies' man type Lobo instead. He's got this little flop haircut thing, and I just don't like the way he looks at all. It kind of almost looks cybernetic, which is a little odd too. But one of my friends had read the first issue and said one of the first things they do is have the new version of Lobo kill the old version of Lobo to basically go, this guy was the imposter, I've been the real Lobo the whole time, which is amazing because in all the years of history of this comic, the real Lobo never bothered to show up, and this imposter's been running the whole thing. Yeah, I doubt that. So I'm hoping that this title won't do well, and DC will bring old Lobo back, but that's doubtful. But, hope springs eternal. The real Lobo, please stand up. No, he can't. He's decapitated. So yeah. But that about does it for the new releases that I checked out. I've still been continuing on with some of the ongoing series that I've been reading. Saga, Standard Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse event is ramping up now. We've got one more issue of Edge of the Spider-Verse, which is going to be the one that I hate because it's written by Gerard Way. The other ones have been kind of neat. The Gwen Stacy one, which was issue 3, I believe, has met with the most popularity so far. It's a parallel world where Gwen Stacy becomes Spider-Woman instead of Peter Parker being Spider-Man. And it was an interesting book. It's a lot of people have liked it so far. It's a more fresh take. There's also a rumor going around right now that at some point in the future after the Spider-Verse event, that there's going to be some sort of time travel dimensional thing, because that's the whole Spider-Verse thing anyway, is Doc Ock Spider-Man hopping through the different dimensions and gathering up the other Spider-Men to fight this big evil that's coming, or that's been going around killing off Spider-Man. The rumor is that the Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman is going to stay in the 616 universe, and then the Peter Parker Spider-Man is going to get flung out into the dimensions, and we'll see Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman as our main Spider character, and then the other one will be like an offshoot one, which is possible. I mean, Dan Slott's still writing Spider-Man, and that guy's a monster. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep reading through the Spider-Verse thing and check out all the interactions between the various Spider-Men and women. They've established a couple of assassin-type spider characters, which is pretty neat. But, yeah, a little bit more to go to that, and then we'll actually get into the full event. Axis is still on its way. Big Marvel crossover between X-Men and Avengers. Some of the other books have been leading up into that. Magneto recently. You have the Red Skull, who's taken over Genosha and is using it as like a camp for mutants again, but like a work camp like Auschwitz, which Magneto was like, nope, not okay. Seeing as Magneto's a Holocaust survivor, yeah, he's not going to stand by and let Red Skull, the Nazi, do all that kind of stuff again. They got Cecil in the background there talking about Das Vita. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on in the comic book world right now. So definitely head out to your local store, check out some of the new books that are coming out, check out some of the titles I talked about, see what you think. Post down in the comments below or on the website. Let us know what you think. If you read those books, if you have a different opinion, who you think female Thor is, or Lady Thor, or Thor. Cecil's singing now. But, yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll be back soon with some more comic book news and some more reviews. Thanks for watching.